everyone, my name is Melinda, and welcome to my podcast on social emotional learning and conscious discipline. I'm an early childhood site director and a graduate student in special education, so I work every day with children, families, and teachers. Today I want to share why social emotional learning, or SEL, is an important trend in special education and how conscious discipline has changed the way I respond to children and adults. My hope is that you hear one or two ideas you can try right away. What SEL is and why it matters. Social emotional learning is the process of helping children and adults build skills like self-awareness, self-management, social skills, and responsible decision-making. It is how we teach children to notice their feelings, calm their bodies, solve problems, and build healthy relationships. For our students with exceptionalities, this is critical. Many have big emotions, sensory needs, communication delays, or trauma backgrounds. If we focus only on academics and ignore social emotional skills, we set them up to struggle. When we prioritize social emotional learning, we are teaching the skills that make learning and inclusion possible. Why this is personal for me. Being trained in conscious discipline completely shifted how I see behavior. Instead of asking, what is wrong with this child, I start asking, what skill is missing and how can I model it? I also had to face the hard truth that children cannot regulate higher than the most regulated person in the room. That means it starts with me. I also wish I had known about conscious discipline when I was raising my stepson and stepdaughter. They both had trauma histories, and instead of seeing them as dysregulated children who need co-regulation, I often reacted with frustration. I was trying to stop the behavior instead of seeing the hurt underneath it. Now I can look back and see how much they needed a calm, steady adult to sit with them in the storm. With my grandchildren, I'm able to do that in a much more intentional way. I breathe with them, name feelings, and stay present when big emotions show up. I feel like I have a strong bond with them because I respond differently. That experience keeps me humble and reminds me that this work is not just professional, it's personal. Conscious discipline basics and examples. Conscious discipline is built around the idea that our brain moves through different states. In survival state, the brain is focused on safety. In the emotional state, it's focused on connection. Do I belong? In executive state, we can think, problem solve, and learn. Traditional systems often try to teach or punish a child who's stuck in the survival or emotional state. Conscious discipline reminds us that we must create safety and connection first. Only then can we ask the child to make a better choice. In my center, this shows up in simple routines. I use breathing techniques with children and with myself. We have a safe place where children can go to calm down. I use visual schedules so children know what to expect. We build connection rituals like a special greeting at the door or a quick one-on-one check-in. One of my favorite parts of conscious discipline is the power of positive intent. I try to practice positive intent with parents, staff, and children. Instead of assuming someone is being difficult on purpose, I remind myself that they are doing the best they can with the skills and stress they have in that moment. When I choose to see people through that lens, my tone softens and the conversation feels safer. Behavior becomes communication, not a personal attack. Bigger picture and takeaways. The trend toward SEL and conscious discipline is a part of a bigger shift in education. We are moving away from punishment and compliance mindset toward a whole child approach that honors mental health, trauma, and brain research. Special education talks about positive behavior supports and least restrictive environment. SEL and conscious discipline give us practical tools to live that out with real students and families. As we close, I want to leave you with a few takeaways. First, notice your own state. Before you respond to a challenging behavior, pause and ask yourself, am I regulated right now? If the answer is no, take a breath, lower your voice, and give yourself a moment. Second, choose one conscious discipline strategy to try this week. Maybe it's a breathing exercise or a safe place, a connection ritual at arrival, or practicing the power of positive intent with one child, one parent, or one coworker. Our students with exceptionalities deserve adults who are regulated, connected, and intentional. When we do our own work first, we create classrooms where every child has a real chance to feel safe, loved, and ready to learn. Thank you for listening to my podcast on social emotional learning and conscious discipline, and for all the work you do for children and families. Have a great evening.